other things, and I'm gonna bring up a specific example that I know that everyone who's watching this video really wants to get to. This H1Z1. What's going on with H1Z1? Right? The truth of H1Z1 is that there is no team working on the game. You know, it was almost sunset, and now it's been massive explosion around it because we said a few words around the fact that we have a team working on the code base. We are just putting everything in order, and now I can tell you we have running builds of Just Survive and early builds of the game and so on. You know, we have those things working, but from there, that's not the end answer to things. What we realized in taking that step, when we did this research, we talked to the community, was, okay, you know, a lot of people are saying they want pre-season 3. Some people don't want that. They want the new version of the game. You know, that version had a ton of bugs that are now fixed, but there were also changes that people didn't like. Some people, the most important thing to them is that we relaunched Just Survive. So where we are right now is that we've taken the time, we've looked through everything, we've seen where we are, we have understood the code base, which took a lot longer than people would imagine, as there weren't a lot of people who could give us the information. So we sort of had to do archaeology with our technical team, which is a very competent technical team. And what we've come up with is now the fact that, you know, we've taken that step. Now the future of H1Z1, we're not going to tell you that it's launching tomorrow, because, and I'm sorry for that, it's not going to be that close. And I actually want to say to everyone who's playing it today, you're not going to see updates very short in time, you know, next month or 2 months from now into the game. And I think that's important. I know a lot of people are very, very much asking us for this, but it's not possible. There's no team there. It takes time to find a team. It takes time to re-engage them, and it also takes now time with all this information that we've gotten to make the right decision for the community. Because I think that in the past it has already been done before, where another team took over, it didn't work out, people were very frustrated, and I don't think anyone wants that. So what I'm saying here is trying to be very straight with everyone. You know, what are we thinking? Yes, we want to do more with H1Z1 in some form. What is that more? You know, is that giving players access to the servers so that they can play this version and we'll do a new version? Is that we update these versions significantly so that they're not that buggy and broken, both with maybe Just Survive and pre-season 3 with the new updates or something like that? That we don't know yet. That we are in that phase of that making those choices and going down that road. But what we do want to know is from the community still, what are your preferences here? Because it's not very easy for us. You know, we have all these pieces together and we're now moving in that direction. And this is special. And the reason why H1Z1 is a bit special, and I'm gonna transition to that now, is that because there is no team. So in this case, we are going to have to move it somewhere, right? And here is an example where EG7 steps in as an owner. We say, here's this brand that people love, with a game that people love, that we of course want to be treated well, but there's no one there steering it or doing it, or, you know, being in charge of it. Then we will try to find someone who can take that torch, and then we will leave the situation, and then you'll have to go to that developer or that plays the community to talk to them. So I think that's very important to understand. With the other games of Daybreak, that's still the companies, and I wouldn't say Daybreak, and I think it's really the studios underneath that we focus on here, and that's things like Darkpaw, who's in charge of EverQuest. You have Rogue Planet, for example, which is in charge of PlanetSide. These are really the guys that we go to and think that should be in charge and are running these, and they are the right kind of passion for this. And there we're all about how can we help them improve. And then I'm not gonna say anything about the plans. I'm gonna let that up to them, because they're running it, they're in charge, they have community managers, they have a team, they're extremely excited, but we are going to help them achieve more with the games. I think that that's the best way of looking at it. So all of those games that are being run today with a development team that are very passionate, does that mean that we won't find any new people to work on new versions of the games? You know, that's up for the future, but currently I think it's very important to understand the teams that are working on live games today, you should expect to go and ask them about things in their community management, and of course we care. So we engage with them when we things aren't moving in the right direction, or community is maybe there's feedback, their negativity, their status. Those are things that we talk to the management team over there about. With H1Z1, we will come out and do a more final announcement, and I know that this might, a lot of people are still, oh, you've been going on for 4 months now, come on, like, what's going on? And they feel that this maybe is not the update that we're looking for, but this is the truth, right? And I think that that's very important. This is what's going on. And I much rather tell you what's going on than sit here and make just a story that I think a lot of companies do to gamers. I am hoping that you're taking this information in the way that I'm giving it to you and being responsible and understanding that we're trying to do this for the best of the game. Now, that we are trying to put this game forward in some way because we believe in the franchise and IP. But we aren't able to tell you exactly what's going to happen because we're still putting the pieces together. But one thing that we are looking at is finding voices in the community that we could talk to get an even better understanding. So that's something that we are looking for, and that we are going to reach out to the community asking specifically who are the strongest voices that you believe should have a say in the future of H1Z1.